I'm Raja Ramachandran. I'm from Target. I'm here to talk about our experiences in implementing search on Solr on Target.com. We are not, the journey's on. We are not there into Solr yet. We are taking baby steps towards the migration. Basically, what I wanted to talk about is why we picked Solr. What are the challenges that we are trying to, how we are using Solr to actually push the enterprise or usher the enterprise into the new era, right? Cloud, open source, and things like that. And also talk about some of the features that we are really stoked about in Solr. So let's dive in. That's me. You can reach out to me in all these handles. I'm a solution architect at Target. I've been handling. I've been operating in the search space for about 4.5 years, and I've a ton of e-commerce experience prior to Target. About Target, for folks who don't know Target, we are a big U.S. retailer. About 1 in every 4 U.S. family shops at Target. We have stores. We have 1,800 stores in the United States. We recently started operations in Canada, and we have technology centers in India. Target.com. The website has been up and alive for over 10 years. But in 2010, we decided to build our own commerce platform on IBM and Oracle stack. And that's been operational for 3 years. We have about 1.5 million active SKUs at any time in the guest-facing instances. And then these SKUs are kind of broadly split into 15 top-level departments and further subcategorized into over 3,000 categories. What I mean that is you have home, furniture, men, women, all that, and then we have further subcategorizations as categorizations like dress, tops, and things like that. So this is what search does for Target. I mean, it's a pretty critical component of our ecosystem. It is employed in every use case up until add to cart at Target, and drives about $1 billion in revenue. So it's, I see it as a heart of the Target.com digital platform, and we'll look at the high-level architecture. This is like a super high-level architecture of the platform. From left to right, we have all these content sources like item availability, popularity, and ratings and reviews, blah blah blah. All these coming and landing into our IBM WCS catalog database. And then we have developed a whole bunch of scripts on Spring Batch that pulls this data nightly and indexes our Oracle and Decca indexes. So this is a full baseline. Nightly, the entire index gets refreshed. And then we have stood up a whole bunch of services on top of this platform that's used by Target.com, mobile web, and all our apps and other digital channels to drive the guest experience. So when we went live 2011 on this architecture, this was a big, giant monolith application on WCS. We had challenges through 2011, 2012. We had challenges in releasing. We are constantly doing this whole release management prioritization battle. And in 2013, we spun an architectural modelization effort where we broke off this whole WCS chain. Search was a bundle, like Search was the first product to do that. And we deployed we used microservices pattern and deployed applications on Tomcat. And basically both services, search application and the services were deployed using Tomcat. And we kind of got off from this WCS year. This was basically to release or innovate faster and deliver functionalities to our guests faster. And we up until last week we were able to deploy every 2 weeks to production. So search, we have a continuous deployment pipeline. We deploy every 2 weeks to production. Now we are in holiday freeze, so nothing's changing. some of the challenges with this platform, like why did we want to? I mean, if we are driving $1 billion out of this platform, why did we want to change, right? What we found out was one, flexibility. So we were on a commercial product and we couldn't go cloud. We wanted to go into cloud. We weren't able to go into cloud because of the licensing deals and licensing agreements. This platform was not architected to handle growth in data. Target was growing in terms of, we had the, it's a data explosion time, right? I mean, signals are coming left, right, and center, and this platform was not capable to index and ingest data rapidly. And we are also growing in terms of acquisitions. And then this platform was not suited for that. So we decided to, in 2013, end of 2013, we kind of did an assessment over all these different search products that's going to take us into the future. And we, at that point, we decided that we will not be dealing with any commercial products anymore, and we wanted to embrace open source. And the two big open source packages were Elasticsearch and Solr. We did a bake-off between these two, and basically we picked Solr. I don't have to explain you guys why we picked Solr. I mean, you guys know that, but really, it's the active community and the innovation that's happening within the platform, within the product, that basically drove us towards Solr versus Elasticsearch. And once we made that decision, we have not looked back. So we are rolling on Solr. All right. So yeah, we made decision. We picked Solr. Now what, right? How do you change a? How do you bring a search engine into a system that delivers about $1 billion in revenue, right? You wanted to do it, gradually. We wanted to be very cognizant about how we change, and we also didn't want to force fit Solr into the existing platform. We wanted to be the platform. We wanted to develop a platform that's going to be playing to Solr's strength, and it's also flexible and nimble. And it's going to meet our growing needs with data. So we established some key guidelines, right? Like if we have to roll Solr, it's going to be some of these principles that we have to adhere to strictly. It has to be, it has to support flexible infrastructure deployment options. I shouldn't be constrained by, hey, I can deploy this in-house, on-premise, cloud, wherever, right? I wanted this platform to be scalable to cloud. The second biggest challenge with the platform was, our platform was not capable of handling signals, so we wanted to create a new product that's not constrained by signal acquisitions. I should be able to index any data any damn time. And we should also, we were never going to compromise on delivering on guest experiences. So this whole Target.com search experience is pretty engaging. We do a storytelling type, we deliver a storytelling type experience, and we were not going to compromise on that. So we were going to figure out how we can build a platform that's also can deliver such a beautiful experience. Okay, so we a whole bunch of leaders got together in the search space, and we're saying, okay, all these guiding principles are great, fine and dandy, and my engineers were kind of raring to go, saying, hey, give me code, give me something to do with Solr. And we said, okay, let's try to deploy a small use case. And one of our senior leaders said, hey, we picked in the business space, we picked Solr for search. And it would be apt if we can actually deploy a search results page on Target.com with Solr, right? Business people, right? It's easy to say, easy for them to say, but we were kind of figuring out, okay, if we have to do that, how do we, what are the things that we need to do? First we need an infrastructure, we need a way to index the current catalog data into Solr, and then we also needed some sort of a page that's going to query Solr and get the results out. So we all agreed that we'll do that, and actually we took it to a test drive, and we did it. So this whole, we had a page up and running in about 2 sprints. As I said, we were kind of working on 2 weeks, 2-week sprints. In about a month, we were actually able to procure an infrastructure, set up the infrastructure, set up Solr. We hacked a quick script that would transform the data that goes into Indica into Solr, and we were able to index it and deployed a page that would get queries from Solr. So if you look at it, the big thing that helped us do it is we had a test and learn cluster in target.com. Basically, if you go to www.target.com, 98% of the traffic goes to a more stable, robust architecture, robust infrastructure, and then 2% goes into this, into this cluster where we deploy a lot of tests. That's where we keep doing new things, new stuff, and we said, hey, well, let's leverage that, and we were able to deploy a Solr page in 2 weeks. And the thing that really helped was, Solr was very easy to install and get up and running, low moving parts. And the other thing that we also noticed was, Solr is just a WAR file, right? And a bunch of libraries, dependent libraries. So we were able to actually deploy it into a Tomcat server and using scripts and bootstrap the whole Solr instance via scripts. So we did that. Next, something happened. All right, we're good. We're good. The next thing that we tried was, test drive 2. We made it to the cloud, guys, right? That's a big thing for us. I think for most of you it's all de facto, but that's an entirely different game for Target. During, again, April 2014, I think there was a cloud initiative that was spun by the enterprise and say, hey, we need to have flexible deployment options. Cloud's a reality. We need to have applications deployable in cloud. And the team was looking for, hey, who's going to be the first candidate to go cloud? And we put our hands up and say, hey, search. We got Solr, we got Tomcat, we got all this cool stuff. And we also had an application. The application that we deployed was type ahead. It's a microservice in target.com. So if you go to www.target.com and interact with the search text box, you get auto suggest, and that's a separate service in itself. And we said, hey, that's a perfect candidate to test this out. So this whole Tomcat Solr cluster in cloud was completely codified. We used Chef cookbooks. We were able to build the stack up. It was a 3 Tomcat app server, 3 Zookeeper, 3 Solr server stack, and we were actually able to also index the data as part of as part of bringing up the stack. Okay, we did the same, 98%, 2% magic, worked out fine. But the power of cloud is, can I send more traffic to it? And that was pretty easy. So we spun a new stack into the way we did it was we just added more stacks into the cloud cluster, and we were able to actually spun up new stacks using the Chef scripts in less than an hour, and we were able to add capacity. So we went we went all the way up to handling 40% of type A traffic. So it was one was going to the Indica-based application, and about 40% was going to the type A cloud-based application. The good thing about this was, for type ahead, we had a very small set of terms, set of index that we got from our analytics systems, and we were able to keep the relevancy consistent between these two because it was a small index. So I'm going to jump topic here and get into relevancy a bit. Again, I don't know if you guys noticed the animation. All of these bubbles came at a different pace. That was like symbolic of how the data comes to our system. And e-commerce search relevancy is no longer just textual, right? It's contextual. You saw Will Hayes talk about it. You saw Grant talk about it. And Solr was kind of just built for this, I guess, right? We were thinking about, how we want to do this in Index, and there was Solr that had this capability, out of the box. I don't want to use out of the box for an open source product, but yeah, out of the box. So we said, hey, this pattern, as we are exploring how we want to index, or how do you want to build this index periodically and frequently, we happened to explore or bump into atomic updates. Mind you guys, this was not a Solr experience team. This was like a team that had handled Indica. So we were kind of exploring Solr, on need-to basis, right? We didn't want to do everything that Solr offered. And atomic updates played so well into this pattern, and said, hey, atomic updates is how we want to go live in Q1 2015, when this platform's going to be ready. The thing about atomic updates was we wanted to find, the thing about the previous platform was we had no ways to identify delta easily within our delta changes within our catalog easily. And with atomic updates, we are kind of pushing changes in our upstream systems as well to start identifying and sending us delta. Like, hey, if an item's title and I don't know, description change, just give me that. And if the price comes from a different location, so we were able to tie it all based on the product ID, and we were able to build all these data bags, signal bags. All right, so here's an example of how that helped us, right? Remember, we went live 2% in April, and this is basically how the default search results from Solr looked. Right? We typed iPod. I don't know why we used iPod, but we tested with iPod, and you see that the results are relevant from a Solr point of view, right? It's got some iPod books and music and stuff there. But that was not what our analytics systems were telling us, right? When our guest was searching for iPod, she wanted iPod. And one of our data analysts was saying, hey, I would be able to pull some click data for this and see if we can make it work. And my engineer here, Jim, he's a rock star. Just took it, ingested it into Solr, and did some custom similarity implementation, and basically it just changed like night and day. That's just one signal, and how impactful it was from a relevancy point of view. The other thing that we were struggling with was, Target works with all these designers and brands all the time. I don't know if you guys remember Missoni. That's one of the designer collaboration that we had. And one of the biggest challenges with our, one more of the biggest challenges with our platform was we were never able to synchronize launches site-wide. Like our indexing process was like a 3-hour window, and the items would show up on .com much earlier than stores. And this was one of the most compelling use cases that our business team wanted. And we kind of did something. I'm just going to go through this whole thing. We created two collections, catalog and catalog shadow. Kind of set the collection aliases. I'm going to work on these naming patterns, but the capital catalog live was an alias that's pointing to the catalog collection, and the capital catalog shadow would point to the catalog shadow collection. And the pattern is basically the queries would always go against catalog live alias, and the updates would always go against the catalog shadow alias. And the way we could do this is once we have updated the shadow, once we have ingested the data, we can run some validation scripts and you can do some cache warm-up scripts, and then whenever the timing is ready, we would just swap the collection. And like, we could synchronize. This is a use case that we are kind of pushing for early launch to see if we can synchronize this with a site-wide designer launch. And last but not least, right, we also have to update the new catalog shadow because it's swapped. The collections have changed. We still have to get both these collections synced, and we did that with updating the catalog shadow again. It kind of doubles the process, but memory was not a problem. This is about 1.5 million items. People are talking about billion documents. Solr, it was a breeze for Solr. And then we are working through, we'll probably put this through performance testing. We are not there yet. We can't do anything in production now, so some of these works just paused from a production validation point of view. But before we go into Q1, before we go live, some of this will be validated. So just to summarize the above slides, right? Atomic updates, collection aliases, live and shadow cores. We are kind of stoked about these features, and again, it was coming out of the box with Solr. I'm again going to jump topics and talk about experience. So this is a view of our search results page for Disney Frozen on Target.com today. I'm just going to quickly annotate this. All of this is delivered from our search platform, right? We have some term-based trigger. We got this picture of Anna and Elsa, and then we have some marketing, again, some promotional message, and then on the left you see all these facets. These are configurable facets. So each term we can have different facets coming back. Depending on how site merchant wants it. Like, she's got the full ability to control this experience. And if you also notice that the grid comes back with we have 2 views today in our grid pages. It's medium and large. And she chose to show this page with a medium view, and it is sorted on relevance. That's another lever that she can, or site merchants can use to change the sorting order. So if for some reason it made sense for this to be sorted by price low to high, it's just, it's a snap. She can do it. Again, here's another view. This is a browse view. The page that we're looking at is women's tops, and you see that the grid is now having a larger image. There's a different marketing message. And if you notice the facets, there are different facets coming back. And you can see that the facets are closed. The site merchant can also has the ability to show, hey, open these facets, right? Expand these facets and show us an experience. So we are kind of wondering, hey, how do we, this is where I didn't find anything out of the box in Solr, right? This is where we are kind of like, how do we get this kind of a business control? How do you build this kind of a business control or experience control on top of Solr? And it turns out we had an app for that. We call that Helix, and that's a homegrown application, guys. So, we developed a product. Primarily, this was all even well before Solr. Our business was going through tool sprawl. Our business teams were not getting the right data at the right time to make right decisions. And from a search point of view, that was key to deliver an optimizing experience. And we created a product that basically gets all these relevant data from different systems and provides a view to our site merchants to make sensible business decisions, right? Things like, hey, Disney Frozen, right? For about 9 weeks, that's been the top visited term on Target.com, and converting at a crazy percentage. And those kinds of data is available in a dashboard in Helix. We also built some relevancy tuning capability for our Indica platform on Helix. And we said, hey, we have this product available. We have this framework available. Why don't we build something for Solr? if you really think about a rule, it's just an interface. You type in a trigger and pick all the facets that you want to show. You also set up sort parameters and stuff, and that could be stored as a separate collection in Solr. And on the service side, basically it's a two-query process. We would query the rules, get the query metadata out of it, and we would query against a catalog. We have tried that. This is working out. We haven't gone to the state of setting up content and all that fancy content triggers in it. But this is we said, hey, this is how we would be able to support delivering an experience. I am sorry I'm kind of running through it because there's this counter going that's creeping me out. So the journey is not done yet, right? I mean, there's just so much of these stuff that we need to handle, right? The search platform, the journey. The way I see it is, the fun is in the journey and not in the destination. So we are kind of we are stumbling through all these issues, and we are learning through how to solve some of these problems. Relevancy is a big deal, right? The way I see relevancy is like a newborn. It's like an infant, right? You got to be constantly monitoring it day in and day out, right? In e-commerce specifically, right? Any moods and moment changes, the relevancy goes for a toss. And if you really talk to the parents of the newborn, they say, hey, initially they say, I don't have any sleep. It's really tough, and then in 6 months down, they have figured out a process to manage that, right? They say, hey, I'm good. Between me and my wife, we figured out a process to manage it. And that's exactly how I see relevancy. So our teams, we have a good relevancy team, but the team's tuned to figure out relevancy on Endeca. They have no clue how Solr's relevancy works, and it's like a 180, right? So we are trying to build that bench strength. We are trying to build tools to make relevancy assessment and improvements easy. So that's in my backlog. SEO, a big deal for Target. 60–70% of our traffic, our external traffic, is coming from Google and Bing, and we wanted to. And all of that SEO requirements today are handled by our search platform. So right from URL generation to textual content within the pages to internal linking, all of that capability is handled by our search platform, and we are trying to figure out how we are going to make that happen, or make that a reality with Solr, working through options. Operations and monitoring, managing a distributed system is a big deal. So we needed something that's, you guys talk, Apple was talking about it, and almost everybody is talking about how do you manage a distributed system? How do you automate or make an alert system to manage it? Yes, we are on the same boat. We are trying to figure out all the tools, all the bare minimum tools needed to measure and monitor search on Solr. And last but not the least, site preview, right? This is a big use case for us. Our business teams and our site merchants are working on 3 months ahead of the time, right? They're looking at site that's going to be, they're working with designers, they're working with labels, and they're looking at how the site's going to be 3 months out of the time. And they need tools to visualize that experience. Today we do that with Endeca. We are trying to figure out how do we build some similar capabilities using Solr, where it's almost like a time travel, right? How does my search function 3 months? What kind of business rules is going to fire? How's this relevancy going to look like, and things like that. And that brings me to the last bit, right? We are in DC. I think I can use this, right? Target.com is going through a whole slew of policy changes, and we are using Solr to pen that change, right? We are making changes in the way Target.com's technology teams operate. We are making changes in the way we build infrastructure in Target.com, and we're really making changes to how we do search. And Solr is Solr is the instrument that we're trying to use to usher the enterprise into the new era. And At Target, we see search as a differentiator, and we have kind of put Solr at its fulcrum, and we are hoping that it's going to take us into the future. And with that, I am done. 6 seconds. We are hiring. We got our booth out there. I'm looking for relevancy engineers. I'm looking for Solr engineers. I'm looking for guys who do cloud stuff. So come talk to us, and our partners there would be happy to assist you with your questions. So come talk to me. All right. Thank you, guys.